Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would first of all like to thank Lars Christen and the KSAC to invite me. And it's not only interesting what I've heard, although I have to admit I didn't understand so much about the Swedish. But at least I found the way you organize this meeting with young people giving their feeling and their dreams of flying to a broader generation is very, very worthwhile because we need young people. My name is Paul Windey. I was president of the Belgian Ultralight Federation, and I'm a member of the board of the European Microlight Federation. I'm sorry, I'm not a professional pilot. I was a lawyer in my profession some time ago, but I'm a pilot since a long time, and recently I got my PPL at 65 years old. So I was Since I retired and I was flying a little bit more than before, I came across some frightening experiences in the air. I came in front of a bimotor engine straight to me. I hadn't seen him, he hadn't seen me. Luckily, I was flying with a gyrocopter. I could close the gas and jump down. Otherwise, I think I wouldn't be here to tell you. I'm especially proud to be here, not only of the good weather in Stockholm, but because of a very recent announcement and evolution that comes from Sweden that I did not know until 2 weeks ago. And I hope to tell you something about this together with an experience of one of your colleagues at the end of my presentation. So apology me for having prepared all these slides. You don't need them if within 2 years further we will have a solution for the problem I had. And before to start, may I ask you, who ever had a near miss in the air? Many of you. Second question. Did you report this near miss to the authorities? That's great. Maybe 10%, 50% of you. Do you know that we don't have any statistics on near misses in Europe? The policy of EASA and national policies are based on guesses and the reported near misses. That's the problem. We don't have statistics, we don't have data, but we all have witnessed and we are anxious about it. That's the story I wanted to tell because 3 years ago, when I started with a colleague of 6 people who had exactly the same experience, we started to use our cell phone to avoid this kind of experiences. That's the message I wanted to give you today. We focus on general aviation in the lower airspace. Once you're in the controlled airspace, you're absolutely secure, you're well followed, you have devices on board, ATC is looking for you, you have TCAS and all these devices, which makes that aviation is one of the safest way of transport actually. This is not the case in lower altitudes. So what I want to tell you is why we should be visible in the air. And not only the airliners, but all kind of pilots, all kind of aircrafts, from free gliders to paramotors to ultralights to general aviation. Why should we do that? And how can we do that? That's the interesting thing. And the most difficult problem is that there are many systems available to make sure that you are visible somewhere in the air. However, over 20 systems are not compatible. They do not see each other. Gliders will see themselves within the community of gliders, but FLARM flyers are not seen by other aircrafts. So that's why it is very important to know actually the limitations of being visible, not being visible, and the solution for that. That comes at the end. As I said, I'm also a member of the European Microlight Federation, which is a federation of all European federations which endeavors the promotion of all kinds of ultralight flying, promoting cross-border flying, because, as you know, ultralights are regulated at national level, and we have 27 different systems in Europe. So what EMF is doing actually is publishing a very nice ultralight flying in Europe bulletin that you can find in the website, but also with this QR code. A very interesting document that you need if you want to fly abroad. How to contact, what are the main differences, how can you fly in Europe. I was very pleased when Lars Christian last year told us in our Microlight Federation that in Sweden since 2016, ultralight flyers from abroad can freely enter into the Swedish airspace and can stay here for at maximum three months. This is not the case all over Europe. If you want to fly to Belgium, you will have to apply for a permit to fly. It will cost you 120 euros and a bunch of documents and paperwork. So please go to this brochure if you want to fly abroad. But the second element, which is one of the priorities of European Microlight Federation, is exactly the problem I wanted to talk about. Now that we have to face the arrival of drones, we want to make sure that in the future we can continue to fly, because drones will invade our airspaces. And if we don't find a solution to live together and to find a way to secure flight with drones and with manned aviation, I'm afraid that our freedom that we have actually will no longer be guaranteed in the very, very near future. And that's why European Microlight Federation, as well as other federations at European level, have lobbied again towards EASA to make sure that at least in the new regulations for drones, we have our place and that we can continue to fly and that drones will not only avoid to fly. I will come back on that point. So, inconspicuity, what is this? It just simple said, be visible in the air. All of you know the FLARM device that the gliders use to make themselves visible for other gliders. Most of you, I guess, are familiar with Mode S transponders. We have been obliged to install it. Well, Mode S transponders are not visible. They are only visible by ATC and by secondary radars. You will never see a device that can see other transponders. We want to be visible because of the safety. If you fly blind like we do, and actually, you're not safe. If we would find a solution to make all aircraft visible in the air, then we could prevent, we could better look out, we could see, we could be alerted. So safety is one of the foremost reasons. But the second reason why we should be visible in the future is the massive arrival of the drones. They are there. In Belgium, we have 5,000 pilots, general aviation. We have 50,000 drone pilots. And it's growing. It's the fastest growing activity, air activity. And you know they are there. They are dangerous. On the 9th of September, the airport of Stockholm was closed for a couple of hours because there were somewhere there were drones. You know that some years ago in Gatwick was closed for 3 days because of drones. So drones are arriving. There is a big business case, so they are arriving. We will have to live with it. We will have to detect them by all kinds of ways. But even in the air, and especially when we are in the air, we need something to see them, because we don't see them and they don't see us. There are a lot of other arguments and elements to make sure that we would like to be visible in the air. But one of the most important things, as I said, is modern dynamic airspace use. Can you imagine when there is a search and rescue operation in Belgium, a whole region is forbidden to fly for the whole period of the activity of the search and rescue? That means sometimes for 3, 4, 5 hours, nobody in that region can fly on VFR. IFR is the other side of the thing. So we want to change this, and the only thing to change this is to be sure that everybody is visible, that can interchange the information, I'm here, I'm here, I'm there, so that everyone can take care of the existence of others. Now, how do we actually make sure that we are visible? If I'm flying my plane, I take the good frequency at the radio, I call ATC and I say, look, I'm here. Then I get a message, set your transponder that code. Okay, I'm doing this. I become visible for ATC, but not for other pilots. If I want to be advised, I have to ask to ATC, please can you advise me, basic information or general information, to make sure that you will inform me by radio to know that there is other traffic. Can you imagine this? This is 50, 60, 80 years technology, while at the same time we use all this. Yesterday afternoon I got a message from a friend who was flying in France, and he said, look, at Facebook. I got a message via Facebook and said, look, you can see me in flight, online, flying. So I went to Facebook, I saw him real-time flying over the Alps, said, look, this is great. I could send him a message and say, look, I saw you, this is great to see you. With my cell phone, I could see him flying at 2,000 feet with a video. Unless when I'm in the air, to make sure that I'm visible for other pilots, I have to phone to ATC and say, look, I'm here. Did you see me? Yes, I put my transponder. I was at the right frequency at the radio. Many people, half of the pilots in Europe, do not use radio. That means out of communication. Only 10% of GA aviation is equipped with ADS-B. Mode S does not give you any signal where you are, because Mode S transponder is not sending your GPS position. It is calculated on the ground by ground stations or by ATC. So we are flying, in practice, we are flying blind. And even if you have the most expensive device of ADS-B in, you will see maybe 2, 3 or 4% of general aviation flying at a lower airspace. And above this, there are not only ADS-B, but there are over 20 different devices who all say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, but they do not talk to each other. That means we don't see each other. That's the problem. What is the solution? Making sure that all these data from positions are brought together and made available through this to pilots. We have already seen that you all have got near misses. Some of them are reported, but on the picture you see all near misses in France in 23. Over 1,000 near misses, based on data collected by all kinds of sources. It's not filtered because people can fly together, so it's not all dots that are real dangers but at least this gives you an indication of how many people fly very close. And it is in conformity with EASA and ICAO standards from near misses 150 feet below or higher and 500 feet away from you. So many, many more near misses. And this is due to the fact that see and avoid, which is the basic principle for VFR, is an extremely limited system. We don't see so much. We look like that, and with the speed, our view is narrowed, with the age also. We don't see what's happening below our aisles, or if the sun is coming from your in front, you don't see. If it's hazy, you don't see anything. So in fact, we are flying blind. That was a latest message from EASA a couple of days ago when publishing their new safety review, but on near misses based on this very few reported near misses. Now, where is the risk high of air proxies? At lower altitudes in the circuit, at tourist places, and at the approach of the airfields, where you're stressed to land and you don't see so much behind, especially in non-towered airfields. We fly blind. Now, one of the questions with the arrival of drones is how do we organize the living together and flying together? What we actually see is that in many countries there is a tendency to create temporary restricted zones for drones. That means, especially for drones, up until 1,000, 2,000, 2,500 feet, restricted for drones. Many pilots in many countries can no longer fly in that zone. And insofar, it's only a couple of zones, it's no problem. But if you live in Europe, in very dense populated regions like France, Belgium, Italy, and if some aircrafts cannot enter into these kind of zones, that means our liberty to fly in the G-class, to fly free, is gone. So that's one of the reasons why European Microlight Federation and other federations are lobbying again towards the EASA to say, look, we don't want reserved zones for drones because that would limit our activity. What we want is a system that allows us to continue to fly safe, and EASA responded, okay, we will organize a new standard of visibility, which is the ADS-L, ADS-B light version. That means if you are visible by three means, one is by ADS-B, not mode transponder mode S, but ADS-B. If you use a FLARM device, or if you use an application on your phone using cellular networks that guarantees that you are visible to others, in that case, you will have the opportunity to continue to fly in these restricted zones. That's why we are against separated zones for drones, because we know they are invading our airspace, and it's just the beginning of a whole new process. Now, as you see, we are not alone with general aviation PPLs. We have all kinds of aircrafts, and especially the hang gliders, paragliders and paramotors have not the ability to have ADS-B or FLARM devices on board. They use applications to, with variometer, barometer, the regions where they can fly, etc. They use all the applications to make sure that they have all the information they needed. Well, the intelligent thing is to link their systems they use with the whole network, a whole family of data sources, to link them, to bring these data together and to send them all back to the other pilots through an application. How can I make myself visible in the air? You know ADS-B out, you know the mode S. ELT is of course another system. But apart from that, there are different systems that use the same radio frequency like FLARM You see the list. I can imagine that most of you don't know the existence of these devices, but they are used. For example, Flymaster is well, and Skytrax C-Rate is very well used by free flight pilots. That's the use of devices with the old-fashioned transmission methods. By some of them, like ADS-B and Mode S, you will be seen by ATS. But all the other devices and software that is used by pilots is not seen by ATS. So apart from the radio, you have the devices like SafeSky and other software that is used by different people which use the cellular network to connect and to have the information. For example, all pilots using a navigation program which is called AirNav Pro or EasyVFR, maybe not so common unless for helicopter pilots in Sweden, all these pilots send automatically their position towards a network, and these networks are brought together and all these data are coming together. So there are so many techniques, so many different applications, so many different systems. The only thing is to make sure that these systems become interoperable. Nowadays we are flying like this, like this, like this, like this. We are flying blind. As I said, there is the EASA standard, ADSL, upcoming to make sure that we can bring all these information together on the same standard that is interoperable, that can be used through different apps to different devices upcoming, because this is just the beginning. So 20 different systems to be visible in the air, but what will you see in the air? If you use as a glider pilot, if you use FLARM, you will see other gliders. You will not see all the other information from other devices. If you use SkyMaster, for example, or Flytrax, whatever device, you will see all those who are using the same thing, not other things. If you use the SafeSky app, you will see the SafeSky, and that's the second invention of over the last 2 years. SafeSky is not only an application as such, who can see where you can indicate your position, and you can see all the other SafeSky users. The advantage is that the whole SafeSky family is growing with all the devices and all the connected software that is bringing together all these data and sending it to users of SafeSky and other applications. That means that the aim of the family of SafeSky, and it's a SafeSky with OGN, Open Glider Network, avionics, and other partners networks like Flight Radar 24, bring together all these data with the opportunity to send it to pilots based on the new standard from ADSL. So all these different systems used by different aircraft or pilots, you see, they will be brought together into one bigger network to make sure that these data are interchangeable. Now, at this moment, all this traffic is only seen by one application. This is SafeSky. But I guess there are other applications will be upcoming. For example, AirNav Pro users from EasyVFR navigation program will be able to see all this traffic together and brought together by the different actors. Now, one of the limitations is that you don't have internet high in the sky. Even though that the SafeSky application is written just to send small packages. It's not normal internet protocol. It is it's limited to a certain height, and it depends a little bit on the coverage of providers actually. That's one of the issues at stake at the moment. But foremost important is the fact that there are other limitations. Using apps in the cockpit should be used intelligent. You have to look out flying VFR is lookout. So use this as a technique to help you to better look out. If this device says you traffic 2 o'clock, you will have to look out. Don't look inside the screen, inside the cockpit. Because there are many human factors, negative human factors of using devices in the cockpit for VFR pilots. There's a very nice study from the GASCO, UK GASCO Association, which gives you the 6 pitfalls of using devices in the cockpit and not looking out. As I said, these devices and this traffic is not seen by ATC, so it's a complementary thing. We have a dream, of course, that all this information, also by ATC would be brought together and sent to you. But this is limited. You need a coverage, an internet coverage, the special feature. Europe is not covered everywhere. There are some regions where there's not coverage, so it's not guaranteed. There's no solution. It's just a help, saying like, look out, traffic 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock behind. You have an audio alert coming into your cockpit if you want. It is blinking when there is a danger, but make sure to learn how to use this intelligent. VFR flying is looking out, better looking out, because actually we are thinking that we see and avoid by looking out, but we are flying blind. Let's find the new technology to help you. If you want to see what kind of traffic we have actually in Europe, oh no, I did something. I did something wrong here.
No problem. So let's go here, and then it was on.
Second last one.
Yeah.
A little bit further.
Here. That's the one.
Yep. Yep.
That's a live view.
That's a live view of this application that is free for all pilots. You don't need to pay for it. You can filter. I'm sorry. We don't need to see all the airliners. We just can filter, yeah. Let's say to 5,000 feet. Yeah. That's the traffic that you can see actually at the moment. Let's zoom in.
Here in Stockholm, you mean, or?
Yep. So it's live tracking. This is a small latency, so it's not it's not so precise, but it does not. It's not important that it's so precise. If you're warned 10 minutes before that, if you go in this direction, you could have another aircraft inside. That's enough to make sure that you will look out at the right place. Now the traffic you see in Sweden is maybe not so much more than you can see on the ground with Flight Radar 24, but I can assure you, if you look into France or the other countries, you will see thousands of aircraft that you will never see with your eyes, never see with ATC. So just use it, play a little bit like that. It's SafeSky.app. If you look into the stores, Apple Store, Google, you will find it. Now, I'm coming to the... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm a lawyer, I'm not a technician.
Here we go. Should we move to the next slide?
Yeah, the next slide. Now, coming to the Next.
Yeah. Here we go.
Next and last slide. What will the future give us? If we want a solution coming from the authorities or from ATC, we will have to wait another 10 years before they found a solution. Because it's national regulated, it's European regulation, it's very complicated, so we don't want to rely on authorities, political authorities. We want to find our solution, proper solution. And the solution is there. And one of the most interesting things when coming to here and preparing to come to Stockholm was that the limitation of this device, that we have no access in internet at higher levels, I heard very special news. And this is maybe something which Christoph can talk
So,
about.
as you probably remember if you were here last year then, we had Johan from Terracom here. And he was talking about a new network there, here in Sweden at least, where Terracom is building a network for the air. So that's great news for this kind of technology, of course, because we need to rely on the network. So we can't rely on the network that's built for the ground. We know that it works on low levels, but it has its pitfall for sure. We've been lucky to be handed over some SIM cards that you put into your mobile device. And we've been trying it out, and we'll be trying this out during our fire surveillance flights that we will do in Kosoko. And it looks very promising, I would say. We have tried it now for a month, and the coverage of the network, the capacity of the network is something completely other than what we actually do when we're only using the mobile network that was built for the people on the ground, of course. So it's an interesting feature, and the future where we can actually have this kind of technology to avoid collisions in the air, and a solution maybe to have the airspace general aviation together with the drones.
That was a really amazing surprise for me, because with SafeSky group of pilots, we were waiting from Starlink to come and to be available in the air. It is available, but at a price we will never be able to pay, because Elon Musk said this is a gold mine for him. We want airliners to pay many money to have this service. So although on the ground we will have, if there's no coverage with normal providers, we will have access to send some data via satellite, the satellites of Elon Musk. But in aviation we will be limited. They will avoid letting us use this unless we pay. Now, if this is the case, and I'm really looking forward, I want to see the real experiment of people flying with this new provider in Sweden, which is unique in Europe. We have all been looking and dreaming about it, but it is not there. But it is here in Sweden. So I'm really looking forward to see the experiments and to show to people that with this device, we can not only see other planes, but we will have access to all necessary information. Weather. What is the weather 50 miles further? Directly, without asking to ATC, look ATC, what is the weather over there? No, we will have it directly. We will have all information. I would like to divert to another airfield. Is it PPR or not? I could have the information just like direct away. So this is future. This makes it also possible if drones are, drones have to use this. They don't need ADSB nor FLARM or whatever. They need to use cellular mobile networks to be active. So they are using this. Why shouldn't we use it? So if that would be the solution, because actually it's limited, let's say, to 2,000 or 3,000 feet. If we would have the Swedish solution in Europe, we have all the future in our hands with this. We could organize digital airspace and say, look, if there's a drone active in that region, we could have on our navigation map a sign, look, here is a cylinder of activity, possible activity of drones. Please avoid it. And drone operators would be informed directly of all our general aviation pilots active in the region. So they could divert or they could lower down their drones if we are in the neighborhood. That's living together, drones and general aviation. So through this novelty, through this new novelty of Sweden, we would have the future in our hands today. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so grateful to be here in Sweden. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. Och vi ska väl tillägga att FFK också flyger med den här utrustningen. Och några utav er brandflygare. Ivan, är han kvar? Tror jag, där uppe någonstans. Very much, thank you, Paul. And I know it should be some questions out there. Are you prepared?
Absolutely.
Vi oss till Kurt då. Kurt, har du några medskick till alla oss här?
Ja, perfekt. Rätt budbärare med mikrofonen här också. För det är nämligen dig jag har en fråga. Du sa att du varit ute och flugit. Med en vanlig mobil när man flyger så klipper det ganska ofta och sådär. Hur många gånger i timmen klippte din mobil när du var uppe och flög?
Jo, vi har ju som sagt testat det här systemet och ni har ju säkert provat mobiltelefonen i luften, misstänker jag de flesta av er här, och vet att det kan, eller är ett så stora problem. Men med det här nya systemet och det här nätverket som Teracom har byggt, så på en timme så har vi kanske 4 hiccups på cirka 1-2 sekunder. Så det är en helt annan täckning mot vad man har med den vanliga mobiltelefonen. Och på höga altituder naturligtvis. Och dessutom så är ju kapaciteten i nätet betydligt högre än vad vi får genom mobilnätet i luften.
Så det är ju en liten revolution egentligen när det här händer. För då kan vi använda våra mobiltelefoner på samma sätt på marken som vi då kan göra också i luften. Det som krävs är väl att en teleoperatör säger okej för dig att flyga med det här simkortet i luften. Teracom har gjort ett fantastiskt jobb.
Ja, fler frågor?
Hi, what would be the process to connect my drone to this app?
000. It's free. It's made by 4 pilots. We don't want to earn money with this. We want this to be free for pilots. We hope to earn some money with the data and for other business cases using these data. But for pilots, we guarantee that this app will be free forever. And even more than that, if you find developers who could use the API and the traffic with all the traffic that the family of all these institutions and operators bring together, we are open to give this API for free if it's for pilots and if it's free for pilots. So just download it, play with it, look what the limitations are, make yourself familiar with the application. There is a paying version, but you don't need it for safety reasons. There's only comfort reasons. If you want your traffic inside your Sky Demon, therefore you have to pay. But if you use your cell phone or an old cell phone, I'm using an old cell phone in my plane like this, which I do use only for SafeSky and for Sky Demon. My cell phone, I keep it to make pictures, to send WhatsApp messages, and to phone when I'm on the ground.
But how would I connect my drone to this software?
Well, for drones to be seen is another. We are trying to collect data with drones. If you look to the live version, to the application, you will see some drones in Norway because the Norwegian police, CA, and other organizations are sending the traffic from drones to the whole network. And in place, we send the traffic from general aviation to them. That means we make ourselves visible to each other. It's at this moment is only the case in Norway. This in 5 places in Sweden. We have Navigation, which is sending drone traffic to our community, and we are sending the traffic to the Navigation. And operators using Navigation as C2C, they can have the general aviation traffic.
I must just tell you, Hans Dunder is my name, and I'm from the board of directors for KSAK, or KSAK, the Royal Swedish Air Club. But I'm also working in a project which is named the Green Flyway, which is a Swedish-Norwegian project where we are cooperating now with HEMS VX in order to just show this. So it is definitely, so if you are flying around Östersund and Jämtland, you will have this possibility. And you have also on the west coast down to Gothenburg, actually around Stockholm also due to Karolinska and Norrtälje. So you can see SafeSky and you can see this weather information in HEMS VX. So that will be a fantastic. They have a very good cooperation with the Royal Swedish Air Club's sister organization in Norway, actually.
If you look to the application, the SafeSky application, at this moment you will see, especially in Oslo, tens of HEMS helicopters and drones flying around. And as a general aviation pilot, you will see if there's an activity, I just go around or I climb to make sure that I'm not in conflict with them. But Norway was the first country to introduce this mutual exchange. There is one actor in Sweden, which is Navigation, who does the same, and then we hope that in other countries in Europe we will have the same interchange with the drone world, because we need each other. They need us to see where we are flying, and we need, for our safety, to know where the drones are active. So why not using simple things like this?
And Paul, are you staying together with us through the dinner, or you are way back? Yeah, so please talk to Paul later on today. He can do what we're always asking for, to fly safe. A warm applause. Då ber vi få hälsa upp välkommen Hans Spets, frivilliga flygkåren, som också opererar med det här systemet och kanske lika länge en månad.